G'day, battlers, and we are going to be live right now for the first ever Trainers Doing Good. I'm here with my good friend Jolt. Jolt, how's it doing today?
Hello, mate. I'm doing exceptionally well today. I'm pretty excited to see some amazing battlers. And not only we will see some incredible battles, but we also are doing it for a great cause. And I don't think there's anything more noble than charity and great battlers and great hosts and great casters. So I don't think we're missing anything tonight.
Yeah, we are definitely going to have it all. So let me just, from the top, kind of give everyone a bit of a rundown about what is going down today. So today we are going to be taking a look at some featured matches from a charity tournament that went down, hosted by the Lord Up podcast, with a bunch of the other podcast hosts. So PokémonGo Radio, a GoCast podcast, Lord Up, and then also a Battle to Win. I've got all the hosts in, and it was a little bit of a fun. So it's somewhat of a team tournament, somewhat not of a team tournament. That is kind of all in this Sylph Open Great League tournament, and each podcast was able to bring in 2 featured battlers. So we've got either, if we can see the flyer right here, we've got the likes of AliLuckey, Speediest, Peng, Zyonik, and so many more that we are going to be seeing all of them today, and they're going to be battling it out to kind of help support a cause, and that cause today for today's stream is going to be Take This, which is it's a non-profit organization. Their mission is essentially to decrease the stigma for mental health in the gaming industry, just games in general, because there's certainly more stigma than there should be around it, and if we can do anything to kind of help reduce that stigma and kind of shine a spotlight on it, being all good to kind of talk about all that stuff, because it is very important. Probably the most important thing of them all. And their vision is essentially it's a community, be welcoming, be supportive of people experiencing real world mental health challenges, and just recognizing the humanity and the mental health of game creators. So today we aren't just talking about it. We are actually going to be raising money through this stream as well. So there's going to be some links in the chat box below that SoSflow on the back end is going to be dropping throughout the stream. And essentially there is going to be some Trainers Doing Good merch. So there's some t-shirts, there's some good stuff you can get there, and all 100% of the profits are going to be going towards the Take This charity. So please do go ahead and support, get that through. This isn't going to be your last chance to support on Twitter after this stream. We're still going to be going at it. We're still going to be raising funds for that. So please do get involved if you can. And with that said, I think we're pretty good to get through this battle. And don't worry, we will remind you through the stream, and the links will keep on coming. So Jolt, do you know how we're going to be starting off this stream? Because I happen to know that it's a pretty exciting battle, to say the least.
Well, I think I saw it on Twitter too. Maybe some famous British caster, British player, and some kind of world champion, kind of good player. So yeah, I think we will start pretty hard with an amazing battle. And I also want to remind everyone on the chat that you can learn more about what the charity does with ! Take This, which you will see on the chat right now, and it will give you the link to the charity page so you can know more about who you are helping. And there's also some pretty amazing merch. So I don't know, a good hoodie with all these hurricanes coming up, a mug so you can get the coffee, the hot chocolate, maybe even some tea to enjoy this battle. So yeah, we're good to go. We're set.
Yeah, all right. So let's jump into the first battle of the evening. We have the one only Speediest Chief, reigning Sylph Arena World Champion, going up against Zyonik, one of the hugest creators in the world in the Pokemon Go PvP scene. This is huge. And again, these battlers are representing some of the podcasts that are around. So Speediest Chief is going to be one of the representatives for the Beginner to Winner podcast, and Zyonik is going to be representing the Lord Up podcast. So quick little brief on both those podcasts. The Beginner to Winner podcast, think of Rock'em Sock'em Robots, but an audio version that only comes out on Wednesdays. Lord Up, weekly podcast, bringing 2 different perspectives and playstyles of Pokemon Go in a very uncensored format. So with that said, let's jump into the battles here. We saw the Stunfisk up against Jellicent, and we're going into the Sableye. Jolt, take it away.
Oh, well, I think it's pretty smart from a Speedy to play an ABB game, because even though he loses the lead, he still has one counter for the Jellicent in the back. And even though this match will be hard lost, I think Sableye will be able to get the one return. And depending on how many energy Zyonik wants to build up to exit this matchup, I think it will be pretty good. I think Speedy could have a good game right here. And this return will land. And it does a good amount of damage. This is an Excel Sableye probably.
Yeah, absolutely. This is still going to do a lot of damage to the Sableye in return, though. Definitely a little bit rough there, but definitely the right move to let that Sableye go down. At this point, you can pretty safely bring the Stunfisk in. Stunfisk is going to be able to take out the rest of this Mandibuzz pretty easily, and Mandibuzz doesn't really threaten it at all with any of its charge moves. So Speedy's probably just sitting here going, yep, this is all hunky-dory. I'm just going to throw bulk rock slides until this Mandibuzz either goes down or something else ends up coming in.
Yeah, and I think, well, I would think there's a play to undercharge with Giffys can probably even Mudshot this down. Even though the Mudshots do 1 damage, I think these Giffys can probably end up with 55 energy exiting these matchups. You can threaten with an Earthquake these Yellowstone that will come in. And
absolutely. We are seeing this off into Mandibuzz now. Yeah, this is actually, ooh, that's not great, because the Air Slash is going to charge up energy a little bit slower on this one. And we are seeing that Jellicent actually has the Ice Beam as well, which is probably the least common moveset to expect. So I think PvPSteve may have been pushed a little bit back onto his heels with this one. Going to try and just throw bulk foul plays as soon as possible, as often as possible, to try and take this thing down. We are seeing Zyonik just going straight for the Ice Beams to try and do the big damage onto this Mandibuzz. At this point, even though Mandibuzz has got this like super effective damage that it can throw, it doesn't actually do that much damage because it's such a defense-weighted Pokemon that Jellicent really can. Oh, actually, it's a Dark Pulse, not a foul play. Still, it can take that though. And Zyonik has 2 shields. What? You know you can burn them, right, Zyonik?
Yeah, but this is pretty good because with Air Slash Mandibuzz, this Steelix looks insanely good in the back. They can probably just double shield it and Dragon Tail down everything. And I'm a very big Steelix fan myself. I've used it in factions, I've used it in GBO, I've used it in drafts. Steelix is a tank. It will not take a lot of damage even from these Dark Pulse, and you can see it. I think this is a Dragon Tail farm down. And I'm sure these games were played before the crunch buffs, so there is no point in throwing it. Just in case you might want to get the defense drop.
Yeah, we saw the attempted catch on Zyonik's side there to try and just soak up that energy from the Mandibuzz, but yeah, unfortunately wasn't able to catch there, but still in a pretty good spot with this Steelix. So at this point, it's a bit of a game of landing the Earthquake onto the other Pokemon. So Steelix actually going for the bait crunch first up. Is Speedy going to shield this up? That is really rough for PvPSteve burning the first shield there. And it's just a case of, actually, we're going to see the bait go the other way. Because Zyonik has both shields, I think he actually may be able to just burn shields and get Mudshot down by the Stunfisk potentially. Oh no, there's no shield on the Stunfisk side. This is going to...
Yeah, and Earthquake does a good amount of damage. I think it does about 70% onto the Gifisk. And this is for sure a KO. That was a nice play on Zyonik. After seeing the Air Slash on the Mandibuzz, it recognized that its win condition was to double shield the Steelix, because even against Gifisk, the damage is just too much. And no way. Wow, this is thick. That Steelix is pretty good. I tell you, I'm a #1 Steelix fan, and that was amazing. Maybe with Snarl, Mandibuzz would have gotten like two more moves the whole fight, and then maybe turn this around. But I'm sure there's a reason why Speedy has the Air Slash, and that's a bad lead again.
Yeah, we're going in poorly again. Sableye up against Mandibuzz, not a great spot. Again, you can get a little bit of neutral damage in by landing a return, but it's just not the great set. And we're seeing the catch onto the Mandibuzz. That is a really nice catch there. This is not going to do much damage at all. And at this point, we're surely going to see Zyonik swap out here.
Yeah, for sure. And that's a quick swap. And that did not happen. And this is pretty interesting because Air Slash Mandibuzz actually takes a mirror, and this is pretty smart from Zyonik, loading up on some energy with those Snarls that generate a lot of energy, swapping to the Steelix, seeing that's a good matchup. The only thing that happens with this is that you really gotta be cautious about the switch timers, because the switch timers are not coordinated anymore, so your opponent might be able to switch before and catch a move. So you gotta keep an eye on that, but these two battlers are just some of the best in the world, so they are aware of that, for sure.
And yeah, this was before the buff, so there is no chance of the 30% debuff coming in through here. But just look at how little damage they did. This Steelix is doing absolutely nothing with its charge moves. It is basically just a dragon-tailed game. And again, as you said before, because the switch timers are a little off, it does mean that the Mandibuzz is actually going to be able to escape for the Steelix, which could mean that PvPSteve could end up getting a little bit of farm on another Pokemon if he does decide.
And Speed is going for the Aerial Ace for some reason, and it gets shielded. I'm not sure if that's VM or if he wanted like to leave the Steelix with a little bit of HP to farm. But normally Dark Pulse is better, or maybe he was scared of a swap out, and I realize he's less energy than Dark Pulse, so I guess there is that.
Yeah, very true, but still going to catch onto that Mandibuzz, and now we're going to see the Galarian Stunfisk come in. Again, we see this before. This Stunfisk is just going to be soaking up pretty much everything this Mandibuzz can throw, and again, Mandibuzz is either going to go down or it's going to swap out eventually. They are the only two options for Zyonik here. You can see that the switch time isn't even half up yet, so it's going to be taking a bit of pummeling in the meantime. Again, as you were kind of saying in the last game, there is a bit of a chance for the Stunfisk to sort of undercharge, not quite take out the Mandibuzz, and then just farm a ton of energy ready to go onto the matchup in the back. I mean, we see if that potential Stunfisk v Steelix matchup sort of happens, you don't want to get hit by an Earthquake from that Steelix. And also, Jellicent can be a little bit scary from Zyonik's side as well. Stunfisk doesn't have the greatest matchup there. It would be nice to be able to have some Earthquakes ready to throw onto the matchup. But we're just seeing PvPSteve taking all of these hits. Is it getting pretty low here? Is Stunfisk actually going to take this Mandibuzz out?
Wow, and that was a pretty smart switch by Zyonik. Just getting Speedy to shield because he does not want to give up all the energy or the Stunfisk, and gets the shield, gets the swap, and there's another charge move coming. And no, Sableye just comes and Shadow Claws the Steelix down. But now that Sableye is locked up, but there's nothing that can stand Sableye in the back.
Yeah, exactly right. And it looks like we're going straight for the return. So this is definitely going to take out the Mandibuzz. A little bit of overkill. A little bit of overkill there. But actually, we're going to see the shield come up from Zyonik's side. But at this point, Mandibuzz almost had a charge move. Looks like, okay, just going for an over.
Is there a chance that he gets 2 Dark Pulses? Shadow Claw does not heal, I think.
I kind of feel like I'm on Team Shadow Claw here. Surely.
No way. Wow, that was so close. But that's pretty good because it forces the energy out of the Sableye, so Sableye is not able, and that's good counting by PvPSteve too. Because if Speedy had taken that hit, that would have been a lot of damage on the Sableye. And Speedy, again, counting very good, throwing at 4 hexes for the Jellicent, knowing its moveset, knowing it's not able to throw a move, and throwing the Foul Play for huge damage. Huge.
Wow. And it brings in the Mandibuzz just to finish the job. Didn't even have to. Just wanted to flex. Like, yeah, I've still got all 3, baby. All 3.
And it's 1-1.
Yeah, so which means we are going to be going into the final battle. Let's see if they can potentially land that Stunfisk up against that Mandibuzz for a third time. Zyonik did play out of it in the first game, able to fight through in the second. Let's see how we go right here. Any second now. The games are about to come, I promise. They're here.
Yeah,
they're coming.
I'm pretty happy that PvPSteve was able to register his team right now for this tournament, as he was not able to do it for our major factions on the first bout. So yeah, Speedy, congratulations on being able to register your team on time. Your boss is proud of you.
Wow, we're just
shout out to my man, PvPSteve, the world champion, the man with the best beard in PokémonGo PvP. So yeah, shout out to him. He's good. Yeah, but in the meantime, I do want to remind everyone that we are here for charity. So again, links are going to be in the chat as well. You can go and support on the charity link. Take This is the website. So if you want to go check out, find out all of the good stuff they are doing for just promoting, getting rid of that stigma in mental health, supporting gamers and the gaming community. Looks like we're having a little bit of a problem getting the matchups in on the back end. Looks like we are just going to be coming back here. So we've got the full poster. We can see the whole thing again. And again, we've got the teams here. Okay, so one thing that we didn't really get to comment on before is the fact that Zyonik's team, there's a bit of interest on there, and specifically the Survivor. I know you were kind of talking before. How good is Survivor in Pokemon Go PvP? Is it viable? Do we have a chance of seeing it pop up in this last game against PvPSteve? Or is the fact that Stunfisk exists just too bad, so sad, we're not going to see the darn thing? It's pretty sad. It's viable, of course, it's always viable, but the fact that it's running Poison Jab, Poison Fang, and probably Crunch makes it very good against DD, makes it viable against Mandibuzz, but the thing is that it's very squishy, so it can not really take up charge moves, even resisted charge moves. So it's a fun pick, but maybe against the PvPSteve, not so much against the team, because you can only really want to get it with the DD, and even Ferrothorn, depending on its second move, it can be a huge problem for this Viper, because the Steel typing actually makes Poison Jabs do resisted damage along with the Poison Fang. and then it really loses the point. It's like Nidoqueen, but with Crunch as coverage move, and it's a better looking Pokemon. So, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate there. Definitely would have liked to see it. But is there any reason for Zyonik to run anything else but the same three, the Mandibuzz, the Steelix, and the Jellicent? Chestnut doesn't look like it's a great Pokemon up against Speediest Chief's team either, just taking too much damage from pretty much everything. Like, there's not really anything on that team that it's like, this is the pick. It's okay against the Stunfisk, especially if you can land the superpower, but, you know, you have to be landing the superpower to get that big damage through, and again, it's a really squishy Pokemon, so it will take a lot of damage back. So unfortunately, it's going to stay around. Marowak could have some play. It could appear. But it's not that great. You know, Mandibuzz, a little bit weak. It's going to take a lot of damage from the Deoxys if it's got that Rock Slide. Going to take a lot of damage from Nidoqueen's Earth Power, Stunfisk's Earthquake. There's just a lot of stuff, and Rock Slide, and the foul plays from the Galarian Stunfisk. I just don't see any reason for Zyonik to go for anything else but the same three. On Speedy's Chief's side, is there any reason to go for something a little bit different in this last one, for a bit of a surprise play to flip it in his flip the matchup in his favor?
Seeing that he's running double counter to the Jellicent, and that Zyonik keeps ringing it, maybe you can switch it up a little bit. But if you still expect Zyonik to ring the same three, I think G-Fisk is probably a great safe swap. Because even against Jellicent, you can actually do a lot of damage with the Earthquakes, and knowing that it does not have Bubble Beam, you cannot really get like super debuff, so you'll get at least 2 Earthquakes off, and you can either force a shield or have the Jellicent to farm down range for the Sableye, and we know how much they return dodge to the Mandibuzz, so I think those two are pretty safe, and Mandibuzz does not really have a real counter in this team, so I think you gotta bring it. I think they just...
Okay. It looks like we are not going to see the last matchup here, unfortunately, and we're going to be moving on to the next round. Looks like we're actually disappeared on my screen, but we're back. Yeah, so we're going to be moving on to round 2, but Speediest Chief did end up beating Zyonik in the 3rd round. Would have been a really nice battle to see, but unfortunately that is just how it is going to be today, unfortunately, while we're working through some problems on the back end. But that means we are going to be moving into game number 2, which is going to be FishOnAHeater versus Narwhal. FishOnAHeater representing the GoCast podcast, and Narwhal representing Pokemon Go Radio. And again, 2 new podcasts, so I want to give them a quick little rundown about what they're kind of about. GoCast podcast, your one-stop shop for updates, news, tips, and community in the world of Pokemon Go. It's got that PvP corner segment as well with FishOnAHeater and DinhoElMagico, so definitely worth checking out. And Pokemon Go Radio, our mum's favorite podcast, and to be a little bit more serious, it is a weekly show, focuses on news, the feature of the game, getting better at PvP, and having a good time as well. New shows every Monday, anywhere you listen to podcasts. So they are the main 4 podcasts that are around, and we're seeing the teams here, and what is going on Fish's team? Joel, what is happening here?
He's definitely having a good time. Like, I'm completely unsure if this is actually a triple Hypno, but if that's triple Hypno, that's like a huge investment on TMs. Because I want to suppose they all have different movesets, like that's the only reason to bring Hypno. So I'm guessing like one has Double Punch, one has Focus Blast. And the worst part is like he brings like exact counters. So let's say if you face a Bastiodon or a Steel type, there's a Scrafty. And if you find something else, there's a Charmer. So that's just dirty. And I think Swampert was like just like, I need a safe swap. And you straight up put Swampert there. This team's so dirty. And
yeah, this is really rough, but we've actually got a hype train coming in here. Holy dooly, level 5 hype train. Let's keep that support going. And also, speaking of keep the support going, you can also support Train is doing good by going to the website. There's also going to be in the Twitch chat as well. But I have got confirmation in my ear that that is indeed supposed to be 3 Hypnos. They are going to be seeing some really, really wacky stuff going on here. And looking at Papa Narwhal's side, just like, there's no Pokemon on Narwhal's team that is going to be completely safe from a Hypno moveset. So by running 3, even you're going to have to take specific note about the CPs as you see them, because otherwise you're just not going to have any clue what's going on, and there could be anything coming at you at any of these Pokemon. You know, you've got Ice Punch for Altaria, Ice Punch for Shadow Ball for Drifblim, Thunder Punch for Lapras, Kingdra, Shadow Balls for Marowak, and Fire Punches for Ninetales as well. There is a lot going on. We are going to be jumping over the battles. What are you kind of expecting Papa Narwhal to do to take on this FishOnAHeater triple Hypno lineup? Just
And
Whackness.
I think he really has to bring like Kingdra. Kingdra will take neutral damage from every single Hypno moveset, as far as I'm concerned, unless it gets like Dragon Punch or Fairy Punch. And it does good. I think Charm A9 looks pretty solid because you can 2-shield it. And this is pretty interesting. Leads Crafty into the shiny Drifloon, which is pretty interesting because as Crafty, depending if it lands the foul place, it can actually do and take this matchup. And this is pretty interesting. I think as Crafty with enough ramp up can do a lot of damage. But then again, you just gotta land the baits. You cannot actually take the foul play, but you receive like negative damage from the power of punch. So it's a pretty iffy matchup. And we can see this is kind of an ABB team. It's running the Crafty in the lead with double Hypno in the back. And I cannot see the CP correctly. But, and that's a very, very interesting Icy Wind. And Hypno comes into probably confusion down to Drifloon. I'm not sure if it will be able to get to the Shadow Ball. And, it just gets to an Icy Wind. And this Icy Wind does not need to get shielded. If FishOnAHeater is actually counting his moves, he knows that's a great no shield on his side. Here comes the AWAC, and AWAC is pretty hard. And we see the first moveset, which is Thunder Punch and the Shadow Ball. We see the Shadow Ball getting shielded. And the moveset is pretty interesting because I'm not sure if they are able to TM between rounds. So you gotta be pretty smart if you're a Fish about how you're gonna manage these Hypno movesets. And the Marowak is going for a Bone Club, probably trying to land the bait, and it does. It does not actually. And here we see Marowak throwing another Bone Club. Will this be shielded? And it does not get shielded. Fish is on point with his bait calls, and we see the A9 in the back with just one shield. Another Bone Club comes in, and another no shield by FishOnAHeater. So he's betting everything into his other Hypno. This is pretty interesting. And again, Crafty has a pretty great matchup against most of his team. And we see a foul play coming in. I'm not sure if this will be shielded. And AWAC does the smart thing, and he shields the foul play, which probably would have done a lot of damage. I'm not sure if that's enough to KO. And AWAC will probably just get the Bone Club to finish this Crafty. Do not want to get hit by a foul play now that it has no shields. And we see the A9 with two Hypno coming in with two shields against the AWAC. And this Hypno also has Shadow Ball, which is pretty interesting, I believe. Shadow Ball and Ice Punch. We see another Bone Club. And will Fish shield? No shield from FishOnAHeater. This guy is really on point, trusting his gods. We see another Bone Club. And this is pretty interesting that we're not seeing a single Shadow Ball. The Bone Club again goes unshielded. FishOnAHeater on point with his calls and counting moves. And now it's A9 in the back with Charm. And now those two shields from Fish are not gonna be worth anything. Shadow Ball comes in, no shields left. A9 takes it to the face, and it does almost half HP. Another one will probably be enough to KO. And Fish lags for a second, and he manages to get it with 1 HP and a Dream. This Ninetales will not be able to take a Shadow Ball, and that will be enough to get the first game.
Hey buddy, that was a great matchup. It's SosaFlow here. I'm gonna stay with you while we're trying to get with Steve, so you have someone to bounce off of. Take a breath. We've got the Charm Alolan Ninetales coming in on that Swampert, chunking it down with that little ice typing, giving it extra little oomph against that ground. Swampert though, amazing with those Hydro Cannons, just gets to those so fast. And boom, there's one, gets the shield. We're going to see what happens with the second one. Now we get one of the Hypnos, and it is the Shadow Ball Hypno and Thunder Punch Hypno. You want to know what's really funny about this? Is that no matter how you play this out, you can really mess with your opponent's mind, not knowing what Hypno has. You don't know which Hypno this is yet, so you're going to get a shield no matter what. And boom, gets that shield.
Yeah, and Fish is playing it pretty smart because he still charges up to the 5 confusions needed for the Shadow Ball while baiting with the Thunder Punch. So that's pretty smart on his side, playing with his opponent's mind. Like, I can't have any single move set. So you gotta think twice, and twice might not be enough.
Boom.
That shit is terrible, so I'm saying. Oh, this hurts. It hurts to see a shiny Pokemon receive a charge move, to be honest.
No, it doesn't. The only thing it hurts to see a Pokemon is when it's Mew. I'll tell you that right now. So, Fish is definitely representing GoCast and doing well with it. And he's going for the Thunder Punch. I don't know why he's going for the Thunder Punch. He has no shields on his opponent. Papa's just letting these go through. It's
That could be like a 5-hit move. Maybe trying to hide the moveset on the Hypno.
But why? Like, why? You have 3 Hypnos with different moveset. They should never have the same moveset. None of these Hypnos should have the same moveset.
Well, I think that's it. Like, they shouldn't. But again, they share one move. So you mess with your opponent on a whole different level. And this Hydro Cannon hurt AWAC way too much. And it will hurt A9 way too much.
So now it's Hypnos versus this Charmer and a Shield. So looking like it's in Fish's favor here, taking the second matchup. The Hypno strategy worked. The Hypno strategy worked, my friend. That's crazy.
Yeah. And it's working against 2 Hypno counters in AWAC and Drifloon in the same team. And the Fish keeps using double Hypno. And that's just dirty, and that's just brave, and that's fun. And that's the stuff I came here to watch.
I think that's the stuff why we all came here to watch. Because, oh my god, that looked super fun. Yeah, bring in the Dragon Breath, right? You're not going to beat it with charge moves. Just go and just Dragon Breath this thing down. That's what Dragon Breath is here for. But already almost up to that Shadow Ball. Ooh. Was that it? Is that it? No, the Thunder Punch came first. Thunder Punch came first.
Yeah, not even in Game 3, Fish is revealing his movesets. And there's a really tough in the back. So Hypno actually avoided his counters by being in the lead. So will we be expecting some kind of reply from his opponent?
No, I see him doing this move for sure, because it's just so quick to just charm down that dragon type. So here we go, the charm comes in, and it's an Alolan, not Marowak. And we're getting those spins, and we're getting those bone clubs going soon. No,
yeah,
we're going, yeah. Here comes
let
the
me
first
tell
one.
you.
Tell me about it.
Actually, the Wigglytuff against AWAC matchup is not as one-sided as you would think, because the bone clubs are non-step, and even though it is resisted, Charm does damage. And you will see that if Wigglytuff decides to get shielded, it can probably get a shield back from the Marowak or probably KO him.
I think it's up to 3 bone clubs, and that's to get the shield off. I think this Wigglytuff has still enough room to put this Marowak in the red on just charms alone. We'll see what happens. Can it get to it in time? Does it fire spin it down? Yeah, look at that. Not wasting the energy. The Marowak is loaded. Each has a shield, but I mean, you can tell the Swampert's gonna come. We all see it. Maybe Papa gets the win here. Maybe Papa gets the W. Gets the bank call. Fish gives up the shield. This is huge. This is huge.
Yeah, because I think it's running Shadow Ball, and Shadow Ball can probably kill Swampert from where he is right now. And that's a lot of damage. He really has to be careful. Probably wants to sack.
Oh no! Oh, that energy is gone. That was huge, because now this Hypno's going to be able to get to it. Oh, makes a quick move. Why Shadow Ball? Double Icy Wind and get it out. Double Icy Wind and get it out. Oh man, the Shadow Ball is going to do damage, but it's not going to take out the Swampert. It's still going to get the Hydro Cannon off, which will actually put the Drifloon into the range of the Thunder Punch that's saved up on the Hypno in the back. Look at that damage that Hydro Cannon does. That was not debuffed. He had enough for another Icy Wind as well. An Icy Wind and a half. It goes double Icy Wind. He could take that. That's such a tough call. Oh, no. Ooh, Fish pulls off with a sweep. Swampert's so beast. Swampert is so...
Well, to be honest, I have no idea why it worked, but it was awesome to watch because I find it pretty funny that he runs double Shadow Ball. Because again, I'm unsure if they were able to TM between rounds, but that the fact that he had 2 Hypno with Shadow Ball and just switching between Thunder Punch and what was it, Ice Punch, made it pretty interesting. We did not get to see the last Hypno moveset, which I'm pretty disappointed. Hopefully, we'll get to see another Fish in game. But it would be pretty good to see it. And I like how Fish played this, just always charging to this Shadow Ball so that his opponent had no idea which Hypno had which moves, especially because both his Hypno counters were pretty weak to Shadow Ball. They can maybe take one, but they cannot take one plus the confusions. So that's pretty interesting. And I think Papa played it as good as he could. I think the Kingdra had a little bit more play. It was a shame that it got like sniped from the Wigglytuff, just like charming it down, just like bashing its head into the poor little... Is that a seahorse? And that's a shame. I think A9 with Charm had a little bit more play. Probably with more shields, like 2 shields and maybe use another Pokemon as stack swap. It could have done a bit more. And probably going the Drifloon AWAC was the best strategy. Maybe switching up the Kingdra probably as a safe swap. But again, you're scared of Wigglytuff. It was a pretty tough game for Papa. Triple Hypno puts a lot of pressure into you. And yeah, as James is saying in the chat, the merch is pretty amazing. Please, we are not only doing this for the amazing battles and for the triple Hypno shenanigans, but for charity. So check out the merch. The merch is pretty amazing. We have hoodies, t-shirts. We also have mugs, and you gotta check them out. Like, you can see the designs right here. Well, as soon as my logo and Steve's logo goes away, the merch is pretty good. You can actually put gel in my hair. Yeah, I probably should do. Sorry, I just came out of work, so it's pretty hard. But the merch is pretty amazing. And remember, mental health is pretty important. Never underestimate how important it is and how can it impact your life or the life of your loved ones. So research, please donate, use the merch, and
it's Nurse Joy on the t-shirts.
Is way to go. And plus, you get Nurse Joy merch, so that's awesome. Nurse Joy is our MVP every single day.
She is. I'm ready to see the next matchup. You ready to do a little quick matchup on our next battlers, my friend? We're still trying to get Steve back here. We got some behind the scene tech issues, but it's all good. You got me helping out with Jolt. We're gonna do a quick analysis on our next matchup, which is Peng versus D.Fi. And I'm kind of actually happy that I get to talk about this matchup because, look, D.Fi's been doing a lot of work on Peng, studying his every move in the Indigo League this last season. So she knows that he loves his Venusaur, his Bastiodon, his Weather Ball users. So I'm pretty sure when D.Fi did this matchup, she was so hyped and ready for it. And her Frostlass is going to do her such good, wonderful things. What are you seeing here on these two, my friend?
Well, I'm just glad they both stick to their guns. Caleb using his Bastiodon that he's known for, the Venusaur, and D.Fi running her Frostlass, the Queen is always back. But I am seeing a lot of Bastiodon play on Caleb's side, and hopefully that's not an Exo Bastiodon because I've faced those, and those are pretty rough to deal with. And I don't know, I feel good to see her battle again, and this really brings up memories of the Indigo League and Friday Night Fights. So I'm pretty excited to see these battles, and hopefully Frostlass is the queen of this game.
Oh man, we all know that she loves her Frostlass. D.Fi and Frostlass are like one and the same. But she also has my least favorite Pokemon of all time, and that is DD. It is, oh my god, the best counter out there. It's so thick. It's got a great move set. We're going to jump into the battle here. Boom. Yeah, so we're so excited to see these two bring it. That defense Deoxys, so crazy with the movesets against most of those Pokemon besides Bastiodon, but you only need the counter there. You don't really need anything else. So I think defense Deoxys is going to be the play here with Frostlass, and that core is really devastating.
Yeah, but you also gotta watch out for the Sableye, because Sableye can actually do a lot of damage, and we see a huge lead, which is the Altaria into the Venusaur. We see a quick swap into the Sableye, and Altaria has the energy lead and has a Dazzling Gleam. Moonblast is probably able to kill the Sableye, and we see a bait here. Do we see a shield?
Oh, we get a shield. This is great. Moonblast on Altaria, the new Community Day move, gets the coverage on some things that it didn't have before. So obviously the shield's coming. I mean, Dragon Breath is such a great fast move. Again, talking about a wonderful move. Bring it in and do the work. Altaria has been the top cat enjoying the Dragon Breath since season 1. Double shields come in. Caleb Peng is dedicated to this Sableye against DeFi. You look shocked, Jolt. What's going on? What are you thinking?
Yeah, double shield's pretty interesting, especially when you're behind on energy. I mean, I don't know what to question Caleb Peng. The only time I battled him, like, he ran the floor with me, but oh, that's the reason why. Okay, so we see the swap into the DD. He wanted to get the Bastiodon into Altaria because that Altaria really sums on the Venusaur. And we see an Stone here, and as you mentioned, the counter damage adds up hard. And then Bastiodon has the best body river now. And I can't believe it, but I kinda don't want to believe it. And it's pretty interesting that DeFi is running the Rock Slide and Psycho Boost. So no Thunderbolt, so all the charge moves will be resisted damage. So what do you see?
I see her debuffing herself. The only fast move that's doing damage, and she's like, I'm gonna still hurt myself for some. Like, why? Don't go for cycle. You're hurting your counter. That's the one thing you don't want to do. Now you're gonna throw a third one. I'm pretty sure Bastiodon survives this with like 2 health. And now what is your counter gonna do? Yeah, Bastiodon is still alive in the back. That was a swap immediately on the Venusaur. You see that there's Lantern in the back, and a Sky Attack comes through. Phew, that Altaria had energy, because if that Altaria gets Sludge Bomb, then it's Venusaur all the way with that Lantern in the back, and it was not going to look prettier for DeFi. Oh my gosh, why are you throwing Psycho Boost, girl? Sorry.
Yeah, no, he knows they're soft too. And easily, how many Psycho Boosts does this Deoxys throw this whole game? And this was pretty smart from DeFi. She hit the Lantern. Caleb has no idea there's a Lantern in behind. So going into a game 2 or game 3 without knowing the last Pokemon, it's pretty important. And welcome back, my friend. I missed you. I mean, I love Sosa, but I missed you too.
Yep, I'm so sorry for everyone. We are jumping straight back into it with the Sableye up against the Skarmory. And this is not a great spot for the Sableye at all. But do you know which is Skarmory like destined to win this matchup? Oh, we are actually seeing the swap out, so that would presume so into the Skarmory mirror match. So the question becomes, what is this Diggersby going to do? So Diggersby, really nice Pokemon, because it's going to soak up all of that flying damage. The ground typing really resisting it away. The Fire Punch is going to do a lot of damage back in return. So this is looking pretty good for the right hand side here.
Yeah, for sure. Caleb looks to be in real problem. I'm not sure how much damage will a Braver do to the Diggersby, but Diggersby can just keep spamming Fire Punch. And to be honest, if shielded correctly, Diggersby can probably exit this matchup with energy, and that could be an issue. So we see an attack coming through. I'm not sure how much damage this will do. It's just a Sky Attack, and that's no damage, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a little bit more than I was expecting, to be honest, but now going for the Brave Bird and correctly shielding it, really, really nice call there. Just wasting all the energy from the Skarmory. It's going to be a little bit weaker now as well, so it's going to be taking more damage with the defense debuff. And Mudshot, because it does have that steel typing as well as the fire typing, does mean that the Mudshots are actually neutral instead of resisted, which is really nice. But letting this come through and going for the no undercharge, just getting this Skarmory out of here before it can get another move off. And unfortunately, Sableye coming in with the charge move straight away, going to let it come through. This actually might be able to hang on good
I don't think it kills, yeah. And
Just...
USB, oh, that's a bit of lag. As Shadow Claw came through, we all love to see that. We always get that in GBL. And the Fire Punch coming through, it will do okay damage. That's enough. And I also want to give a big shout out to DinhoElMagico because she came pretty close to hit Legend last season. And we have really seen her improvement in this battle. And she's an amazing battler. Foul Play coming through against the Skarmory. Skarmory can take this pretty good. Does a good chunk of damage. But this Skarmory is loaded. And we see an amazing swap by Caleb into the A9 to take the Sky Attack. But I think Caleb's in a rough spot right now.
Yeah, it's still going to do a fair amount of damage, and we're now seeing this swap out into that Frostlass. It's a bit of an interesting matchup, this Frostlass versus Alolan Ninetales, because it's a Powder Snow Alolan Ninetales as opposed to Charm. Charm will be doing heaps of damage, but we're just going to be seeing the Shadow Ball coming straight through. There's still 2 shields to use here, so easily going to burn one here. Really nice, just burn that energy away from that shiny Frostlass. And is that going straight to the Dazzling Gleam? Straight there. We're going to see the shield.
Oh,
no.
That hurts. I think that's Powder Snow farm down range.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Gets the avalanche through. That's really nice. That's pretty clutch. He's going to get this last shield, and then one more Powder Snow, and this Frostlass will go down.
I think Skarmory has energy, and probably wins CMP. Oh, Skarmory does not have energy.
Threw the Brave Bird before, so it ended up pretty low.
You gotta shield this. Yeah. And I don't think... Does Niceless outspeed? Oh, that was a smart move. And she has to throw it straight away because Sableye was at most 2 Shadow Claws away from another foul play. That was pretty smart from Caleb, and he will get to the last Weather Ball to take the match against a pretty hard lost lead and a hard lost in safe swap or swap. That was pretty great from Caleb. Smart thinking.
Yeah, look, it just goes to show that Caleb Peng is obviously one of the best battlers in the world, has created some of the most prominent lines of all time in Go Battle League, and knows exactly how to get, he's figured out all of these perms and coms, the permutations of figuring out, okay, if I lose the lead, it's all going to be good. And we are now seeing one of the hardest won leads in this entire game. Bastion versus Skarmory has to swap to Deoxys, and now we're seeing Sableye. This is just hard counter to hard counter. This is the most rock, paper, scissors I've ever seen in Pokemon Go PvP match go. So rough, and this rock slide is just not going to do enough to be able to take this Sableye out in this matchup.
I mean, this is the kind of games that you just load into it, you see the lead, and you know what's in the back, and you're like, top left, goodbye. I'm not playing GBL for 2 hours. Like if I'm DinhoElMagico and I see this lead on game 3, I'm like, I'm not even gonna tell you GG's, right? Like I'm just gonna shut off my phone and see you later. But it's all for charity, so I guess even Bastions are allowed. That was so harsh. And
really rough.
Even in the back, that Diggers takes super effective from the Venusaur, so it's harsh to see. I hate to see it. Yeah,
it's just rough, and you have to let Sableye go down at this point. It's done a pretty good job, and this foul play is going to go through, which is pretty nice. But this Sableye going to go down, and I guess this Diggersby is going to escape with a little bit of energy. But as you kind of said, still got a pretty solid counter there, especially with the 2-to-1 shield advantage on Venusaur's side. Definitely going to be able to nullify the little bit of energy advantage, and gonna get him off. We'll just kind of see. Surely they just want to keep this Diggersby alive as much as possible so they can try and maneuver it onto that Bastion in the back. Skarmory is just dead weight at this point, and we're actually seeing the Skarmory now just becoming just food for this Bastion. It's just going to be taking all of that health and converting it into energy, being able to throw 1,000,000 charge moves before Bastion will get taken out here. This is rough. This is
I think at this point you could even go straight Bravebird because it means Bastion gets less farm. So I mean, still not your ideal situation, but I think one time, I simmed I made a simulation of a Steel Wing Flash Cannon Skarmory, and I think that has a shot. I think with certain energy advantage, because Steel Wing is actually the inverse of Wing Attack in regarding the energy per turn and damage per turn. So Steel Wing, it's wow. Dude, no way. Like, dude, I just saw top left there. Like, if this guy stops attacking, like, I just top left. Like, that's such a VM. Oh man,
The disrespect. Oh my god.
I'm getting mad. It's not even me.
Oh, Caleb, I cannot believe you've done this. Either way, we're finishing off. The Venusaur's coming back in. It's still got that shield advantage. You're ready to go. Going to be able to shoot off this Fire Punch. Going to be able to shoot up another Fire Punch. Going to get these Frenzy Plants off. Try and take this Diggersby out as soon as possible. But, oh, man. It looks like he's going to farm up to 2 just to make sure he can do it in one fast swoop. There we go. Got tons of energy. And here we go. DeFi holding on. Going to burn the shield. Going to maybe be able to get 2 Frenzy Plants through. But, yeah. I'm sorry, D5, but this just isn't going to happen this time around. It was just so hard counted. Oh my gosh. And that's how games can go when you've got Bastion, I suppose, and especially bringing the Skarmory in to a team that has a Bastion on it can be such a scary move. And it was actually an okay play from D5. You can use it as a lead because it means that if you get that Bastion lead, you can swap out of there and maybe try and maneuver around to the back, try and win switch advantage. But when you saw that Sableye come into the defense Deoxys, there was just absolutely nothing that she could do. And it's really unfortunate, but really strong win from Caleb there.
I was pretty surprised not to see the Slash Bomb at the end, to be honest. I was pretty surprised. And I'm not sure if this is a behavior the cool cats approve.
Yeah, this is tarnishing their reputation here.
Yeah, but Caleb's an amazing battler. We've seen him in the Indigo League. Actually made some amazing plays, so huge respect to him, amazing battler, great win, and also amazing battles by DeFi. She did her best, but sometimes Bastion is just Bastion.
Yeah, and she said in the chat, Caleb read her like a book. There just wasn't really anything she could do in that one. It completely came down to that lineups, and as does happen sometimes, but as does potentially also happen sometimes during this stream, is some plugs for the merch that we're doing to support the Take This organization to help reduce the stigma in mental health. So please do go ahead and support. TakeThis.org is their website, and you can go check out the merch in that last link that SoSflow has just sent through as well. So please do go over there, check all the great stuff, because they're seriously like, it is some good looking merch. Like, it isn't just something that's been sloppily put together. It's like, oh, hey, you can support this and you also get a shirt. They are some good quality stuff. And look at that thing. Look at it. That is really nice. So please do go check that out as we go into this the next round, which is going to be featuring some battles up with Fish coming back to the stream with his triple Hypno line. Now, this Hypno line was so deadly that it killed me off the stream last time it came. So hopefully we don't see a repeat of that this time around, but we are going to see him go up against Dino from the Beginner to Winner podcast with the Toxicroak, Bastiodon, Meganium, Swampert, Shadow Hypno V Hypno action coming, and that Skarmory. So surely we're all expecting to see some Hypno mirror match going on here, right? Right?
Hopefully not. And I mean, if you're the Toxicroak in this matchup, you really just want to cry because you win like one matchup out of 6. Or even if the Hypno had like Send Headbutt, like you're not winning that one. And Bastiodon seems so good, but there's this Crafty and Swampert, and like we know one of these Hypnos has the Thunder Punch, one has the Ice Punch, and I would like to suppose one has Focus Blast. And I guess we will find out the most of the third Hypno.
Yeah, exactly right. Jumping in here, we've got another 45 seconds before we jump into the battles, but what moveset are you expecting on that Hypno? It's got to be running Shadow Ball. So when Shadow Ball v Shadow Ball Hypno when? And yeah, but I guess I'm kind of not expecting the Focus Blast one to appear, even if it is around. I feel like they're going to be relying, Fish is going to be relying a little bit more on the Swampert and the Scrafty to potentially take out any Bastiodons that may come around, because they are just so much more hard counters. It makes me think, even though I love Focus Blast Hypno, it makes me think that he may not have one at the team. And we're opening up with 0 Hypnos on the screen. These Crafty versus Hypno only bring 1 Hypno in the back, has brought that double Bastiodon counter in his Scrafty and Swampert. But this is a pretty okay matchup for the Scrafty, although we do see CMP Tide going in his Swampert's favor. And at this point, I can only imagine that Fish doesn't need to keep this Scrafty around, but it is a pretty powerful Pokemon.
Yeah, Scrafty is pretty good, especially when unchecked, because the power punches really do add up with the counter damage. And one boosted Foul Play can really take you off guard, because it's actually pretty hard to measure how much damage boosted a Pokemon attack moves do. We have to see a shield here on the Scrafty, because you gotta keep alive. And this is probably going to be straight up power punch and farm down for the Scrafty. So maybe living up with half a power punch ready. And this will probably pretty dependent on if that Hypno has Fire Punch, I believe. Oh,
that's rough. That is really rough. Forcing Fish to decide if he wants to burn that last shield to keep Scrafty around, and he doesn't, which actually, looking at the lineup on the back end, is the right move. Although I think Fish really wanted to win the switch advantage to make sure that he had the Pokemon where he wanted them to be, so he could have that Swampert onto a potential Bastiodon. But there is no Bastiodon in the back. They've got Meganium and Skarmory in the back. So this Swampert is going to see Meganium straight away. We're going to have to see a swap out into that Hypno sooner rather than later, deciding to stay and take a bunch of damage first up. Maybe that Hypno doesn't have some great moves to take this Meganium on, but this isn't good.
No, I actually think this is pretty smart, because what Fish did, he charged up to the Earthquake, probably just faking an Sludge Wave. So maybe he thought, I can take a shield, I can make you scared because I'm staying in this matchup, so I can threaten a Sludge Wave. And this Hypno has the Fire Punch, so this Hypno will do a lot of damage to the Skarmory and to the Meganium. However, as you mentioned, Switch was pretty important, because this Swampert cannot really hurt the Meganium because it's running the Earthquake, and Hypno has to shield the Brave Bird or the Frenzy Plant coming in, because it's getting not dangerously low, but it's getting pretty close to being one charge move away from death.
Okay, does successfully shield the Brave Bird. That's a good start here. This Fire Punch and the following Confusions should be able to take the Skarmory out, and then it's going to be up to Hypno to take out the Meganium that's in the back. But again, with no shields, it's going to be a little bit rough. It could go either way, especially because that Meganium has a bunch of energy. It's got the shield advantage. It's got some stuff ready to throw, and it looks like we've charged up to 2 Frenzy Plants on the right-hand side. And this Hypno, I don't think it's going to be able to get its move off.
If he lifts this, he can instantly swap to take the other one with Swampert.
Oh my gosh. They weren't going to the back-to-back.
Yeah, that's pretty smart on both sides, because most people expect back-to-back. So good players know that they are expecting the back-to-back and make the swap. And,
oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh, Hydro Cannon's going off.
Wow. Even if Hydro does not kill, 1 Confusion should be enough after this damage. Probably about 2 Confusions left. Oh, and it was the CMP!
Oh no.
You got to undercharge. You got to undercharge. And that's too much, I think. Yeah. That's too much.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh my god, it's really so close.
Oh my gosh, oh my god.
No way! Dude, no way! Oh, the last second!
Are you serious right now? Are you serious? Wow.
1 HP and a dream every single time. Hypno is no dominant on here. Wow, Meganium supremacy. And that's a great lead in game 2 for Fish. Oh, he's running the Skarmory double Hypno, so he's playing the dirty game right now, and he gets the only Pokemon that can probably face with a decent matchup against this Hypno in the lead with the Pokemon that beats it.
Yeah, which is really unfortunate there. And I guess, I think Fish is running the definition of an ABB line, quite more so than any other lineup that has ever existed on the planet. But we're seeing these Hydro Cannons go through. Looks like they're just going to let the Skarmory go, which is definitely, it's an okay play, because obviously they've got the Meganium. You'd like to see Meganium land onto this Swampert. That's where you like to be. We are seeing this charge move come through from the Skarmory and actually getting a shield from this Swampert. Fish deciding to keep this Swampert around. I'm not sure if they're maybe expecting the Bastiodon could still be around this time around, and maybe, again, not wanting to get themselves in a place where they've got 2 Hypnos up against a Bastiodon where they might not be able to do much, assuming there's no Focus Blast. We see the Meganium come in. We see the swap into Hypno number 1. and we are going to see the Ice Punch Shadow Ball moveset going up against this Swampert, which is actually a pretty half decent moveset up against the Swampert.
Oh, this Earthquake will hurt a lot. And I think it's pretty interesting that that Fish went straight for the... I thought he had clicked the Shadow Ball, but okay, yeah, apparently the game did not register it because we love to see that. And it played out in Fish's favor. He gets the bait, but it will need to get a shield. And in these situations, when you gotta shield the low damage move, low of course, because Hydro Cannon is like a truck, it's pretty tough. But hey, when Hypno goes down, I got another one for you, so no issues there, my friend. It's all good. You could probably come back Swampert right now, and you can actually farm one more, and that's great counting on Fish. He will get these Hydro Cannon through, probably KO with Swampert, and you probably gotta swap instantly to the Hypno and see how it goes from there.
Yeah,
and
here comes
this is the Power Punch.
Okay, this is definitely I think it's probably the most important Hypno that Fish is running. That 500 moveset, really good up against Meganium, really good up against Skarmory, and the Shadow Ball just there for good measure. In case that Shadow Hypno did decide to rear its head, but yeah, not this time around. Letting the first Frenzy Plant come through. Doesn't necessarily have to pick one or the other, but really nice call there, shielding the Frenzy. It's going to see the first 5 punch going through, and I think this is the last shield that's being burned on the Meganium side.
Yes, it's the last one, and I'm pretty interested. Like, I was thinking about, just imagine you load into game, and how do you know which Hypno to swap into? Because the movesets are important. Like how do you even do that? Like, you could pick the wrong Hypno and surprise, you cannot do damage anymore.
Oh, wait, is that an overtap? Is that an overtap?
I think Meganium's got 2 moves, but Swampert's probably able...
Oh. Okay. Interesting that they're going for the Mud Shot down as opposed to the Confusion down, but I mean, it kind of looks like they're gonna be able to take it out here. I really thought Hypno was going to do the job, but no need. Swampert able to take it out. Fish's double Hypno line just topped and tailed by the Swampert, cleaning things up at the end. Able to somehow take down a Meganium. Did I see that right?
Exactly, and we see this Crafty into the Swampert for game 3, and again, as you mentioned, ABB with a double Hypno in the back. And I think that battle we just saw was the first one to leave all of us just like speechless. Like, clear red taking away. Like, why wouldn't you shield the Hypno? And that's the fun part about these battles. And we see the Swampert going for the Hydro Cannon, probably gets the shield. Yeah, but again,
I mean, Fish didn't want to protect their Scrafty in the last game. Does decide to actually keep it around this time around. I guess again, it's kind of a case where they want to. Fish wants to win switch. In a case where the opponent might want to bring their Meganium into like a Swampert, but Fish doesn't have Swampert this time around, but they don't know that at this stage. But gets the shield with the Power Punch is really nice there. And again, we're going to see this kind of a clutch Hydro Cannon. This is the exact same as that a few games ago. Scrafty will be able to tank it and then take this Swampert out, I believe.
Oh, but that was pretty smart because a counter came through. So in order to save the energy on the Swampert, he swapped out to take the damage of the counter with the Skarmory. And that was pretty smart. But again, you just get countered by this Hypno. So this one has Thunder Punch. And like, okay, so all 3 Hypnos have an Elemental Punch and Shadow Ball, which is pretty interesting because we saw the Ice Punch Hypno the first 2 games, and now we see the Thunder Punch Hypno the 3rd game. Like, this is a perfectly read team comp. Like, yeah, it's on another level.
It's pretty wacky, and I think the opponent just must be sitting there kind of going like, I can only imagine they're, running in the CPs and go, okay, this is one that I haven't seen before. This must be a new one. This could have any sort of moves. Or they're just taking it for the funsies and going, oh, okay, another moveset on this moveset roulette that's coming at me. But actually going to let this Hypno go down. Pretty interesting, but I guess going to get a bit of farm on presumably that Hypno in the back, because Crafty would be taking way too much damage here with its fighting typing. So going to bring in Hypno, going to get some energy on this Skarmory, no matter what it throws.
I think Skarmory gets to it. Oh... But it didn't get to it, and this is a Sky Attack. Yeah. Oh, is it worth shielding? I think not. I think you gotta save the shield for the Meganium. But it still does good damage to the Hypno. And that's what I told you about the energy. That's pretty important. I don't think Fish is able to win this anymore because that Meganium is full HP. And that Hydro Cannon hits so hard. You could even be in Vine Whip downrange right now. And there's a Skarmory there for the swap too. we see the first Fire Punch coming through, and it will probably just get shielded for safe measures, or I could be completely wrong, as I always am. So no surprises here.
Yeah,
No surprises here.
that Meganium can absolutely tank that Fire Punch. At this point, it really can be just a Vine Whip down
Oh my
game.
god, it got you! It's huge!
Oh my gosh.
You
Still
got
has
a
the shield. Still has the shield, so going to be able to Vine Whip this thing down. Does Crafty have energy in the back? But it's an unpowered
What?
power.
He got Foul Play, right? He got Foul Play.
Oh my gosh.
He got Foul Play.
I guess trying to get as much counter damage. Oh, able to get another Power Punch. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
But he's one Air Slash away, and his Skarmory is too healthy, right? There are 2 turns each, 2 and 3 turns each.
Oh, hangs on.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Gets the Frenzy Plant, gets this last shield. Oh, what is this game? What is happening?
Skarmory's right energy drive, right? Skarmory's energy drive. Oh, it's not good enough.
Catches the counter, Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. The ultimate plate perfectly switching so that the move doesn't register on the Meganium, registers on the Skarmory instead. And seeing the Hypno come out, and Confusion is too long. Confusion's too long. The Vine Whip goes through before the Confusion and taking it out. Oh my gosh. That is the most amazing Meganium I've ever seen. That was incredible. Wow. There's nothing to say. That was just absolutely finesse. That was really just cleanly played. Like, just so clean. Like, just really good knowledge about the game, knowledge about how it works, knowing that, okay, if I leave this Meganium in, the counter damage is going to register onto my Meganium and it will go down and I'll lose. To win this game, I have to swap into the Skarmory for the counter damage to register onto Skarmory and then come back in to throw the Frenzy Plant on the Hypno coming back. That's just...
And he did that twice. First with the Swampert to save the Hydro, again with the Skarmory. So the Skarmory took 2 extra counters, and those 2 extra counters, wow, that's amazing.
Look, anyone in the chat who is aware of speedruns knows that this very well could be a tool-assisted speedrun. This was just run by a computer to be the perfect optimal plays, because that is absolutely just insane. Like, he's very quickly become my favorite battler. Just out of nowhere, because that was absolutely huge. Just really, really well played.
I'm pretty disappointed that we did not see the mirror of Hypnos. I think that's pretty sad. But again, maybe Hypno on the other side would not be good, because you'll probably get behind on energy against the other Hypnos. So that's like a shield or die scenario. So I understand it. But that's some amazing plays. That Meganium does work, dude, work. And come to think of it, wasn't this season 1, like, I know. Oh, wait a second. I know this team. I got your legend on season 1. Like, the only time I got rank 10 was using a Skarmory Swampert Meganium. Like, dude, I was like, oh, I know this team so much. This team is great. This team is great. It's actually good. I got my legend Pokemon with it. It's amazing.
Wow. Well, congrats, and also congrats to Dino representing again. Just really well played, and I think that'll bring us into the 5th round of the stream, which is going to be bringing that Caleb Peng up against Camo McG08. Caleb going to be representing the Lord Up podcast, Camo representing the Pokemon Go radio, and seeing the double Bastion come in here. So, and also a bunch of flyers. Both teams have 2 flyers, the Tropius and the Pelipper on the left, and the Skarmory and the Pelipper on the right. And we've also got the 2 Bastions. So I'm kind of expecting some Bastion play, to say the least. But what else are you kind of seeing around here, Joel?
I hopefully do not see a Bastion mirror. But aside from that, I see Sableye doing pretty good aside from the Bastion for Caleb's side. And Camo can pretty much use the GBL team of Giffis, Tropius, and Pelipper to pretty good degree. Because if this Tropius is running the Air Slash, it has a better matchup against Venusaur. But with Razor Relief, it can actually do some damage back to the Bastion. Not too much, but it does some damage. And Medicham seems a pretty good wall to the Bastion, along with the Gifisk, and Venusaur can actually beat it too. So actually, Bastion is not as safe as it was the last matchup. So we will see how Caleb Peng deals around this.
Yeah, exactly right. So we'll hop into the battle screen over here, and I don't really expect Tropius to necessarily appear, because there's definitely a lot of things that can kind of hurt it. There's obviously the famous Skarmory the Farmer able to take Tropius absolutely to town. It's potentially an even worse matchup than a Bastion up against a Skarmory. Like that, if you've ever got a Skarmory locked in against a Tropius, you will just be like over the moon. Like, I am going to run out of this matchup with 5 million energy and pretty much all of my health all intact. And it's really incredible. But yeah, Caleb Peng, from his GBLA video, I remember him talking about the fact that he does like to build his GBL teams into his teams of 6, and we are seeing this Pelipper lead going up against the Galarian Stunfisk, which is not a bad spot for the Pelipper because it is able to get these water weather balls off. And again, this was before the season changes, so weather ball is still a little bit better than it is now. So this is actually a firmer matchup for Pelipper in this battle than you would expect to see at the moment. But we are going to see the first shield come from the rock side, potentially trying to catch the weather ball into the Pelipper there, but unfortunately not able to, so able to get this Hurricane off, and you've got a shield, right?
Yeah,
right?
You got a shield.
Oh no, he's not oh no.
And that's soft because you're probably getting farmed out at this point. Oh, a quick second to Sableye. And those were some quick reactions too, because you got probably gotten sniped and farmed down completely, but Pelipper is able to throw the weather ball, which does almost have to disable Sableye.
Oh, and not able to get that second weather ball off either, unfortunately.
Oh, double steal in the back. Wow.
Yeah, this is a little bit rough for the Sableye. Neither of his Pokemon are Sableye's favorite to get up against. This Stunfisk could potentially escape here with a bit of energy too. Going to be able to eat this foul play like it is absolutely nothing. No shields required. Oh, actually burning the shield.
Wow, that's pretty strange.
Yeah,
but I guess it works. The Sableye Stunfisk matchup is with even energy. Sableye favorite, but one Machop or one Shadow Claw can actually turn this matchup around. And oh, was that an undercharge?
That's great.
Wow, that's great. And Venusaur pretty much has to be really wary of this Earthquake. And if it lands, Bastion can just come in and... I'm not going to tell you what happens right now, because I don't like how this goes.
Okay, we're actually going to see Stunfisk stay in, maybe trying to soak this Frenzy Glint before swapping out to the Bastion. But as you said, Bastion is... could be coming around the corner at this point. And are we going to see the last second shield? Or, it kind of looked like there might have been a tap on the shield there at like the last millisecond, but maybe not. It didn't go through at any rate. But we're actually seeing the Stunfisk holding on, going, I wasn't done with you, baby. Hiya! Throwing one rock slide before we're done. So take that Venusaur out. And Bastion still hanging out in the back. So this Pelipper going to be saying hello to a whole lot of smackdowns coming its way. But weather balls are still a little bit hurtful. But yeah, it's not a great matchup.
No.
Well, we'll see the slow demise of this Pelipper, burning that last shield on the weather ball. And we're seeing Pelipper charge up the Hurricane as well. But actually, yeah, just wasn't going to throw there. Knew that it was GG's. And
he was tapping the Hurricane, right?
It kind of seemed that way.
That's play area proof. That's play area proof. Letting him know that your pride is still intact.
Well, it's all good. We're actually jumping into the Venusaur up against Stunfisk matchup. And again, we're actually not seeing the double steal matchup. We're seeing a Medicham and a Pelipper on the back on the right-hand side. Is that a double steal or is that a Sableye on the left? I think that was a Sableye.
That's a Sableye, and which means switch is pretty important here. And even energy from the lead, one shield, Venusaur takes this matchup. So that would be pretty huge because you do not want to get that Bastion with the Medicham. So yeah. I guess we could see probably a double shield from either side, expecting obviously the Bastion and a counter to the Bastion in the back. Because the thing with Bastion is that it does not have normal counters. You either hard counter him or hard lose to him. So you gotta pick one. And that's what makes Bastion kind of RPS.
And very much playing the rock role in that RPS. We're actually seeing the swap out into Pelipper. And at this point, just cheer and going, oh yeah, it's Bastion time. But
well, never mind. I don't think that's smart. Because your counter, which is the Medicham, loses hard to Sableye. Mm-hmm. So yeah, this is what I say. Like, this is what probably DeFi has been feeling. Like, you just see the lead that you're not gonna win, and you're like, I don't want to play because I know what's in the back. And again, it's Bastion Sableye, which is pretty annoying. And
yeah.
I hope he throws the Hurricane. Oh, he won't get to it. That's a big shame.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
And not even doing the bubbles at all. Just letting this all come through, trying to give Medicham that farm. I'm kind of interested as to why they tapped it at all. Maybe just to show that they could. Or just a,
Yeah,
hey.
I like that line of thought.
But either way, we're definitely going to see this Medicham come in, get a ton of farm here. These flamethrowers not going to do much damage at all. No stab and not a super duper effective move to this Medicham either way. Going to be able to counter all the way down. You could potentially make some sort of... Actually, we're going to see the swap into Sableye, so we're going to see the swap into Stunfisk. Going to have to go for this Rock Slide or have to burn a shield to get to the Earthquake. And it looks like they're going for the Earthquake route, burning the shield, and is one mud shot away from the EQ.
Yeah, and you pretty much had to get your Medicham out of there. I'm not sure if he maybe reached double Rock Slide, which would do more damage than one Earthquake. But this is tough. This is very tough. This is if Medicham has Psychic. I'm not sure how this match turns out. Medicham will leave this, and if she can get maybe to 2 Ice Punches before Venusaur can farm down.
Yeah, we're going to need to see a charge move to take this Medicham out, I think, before it can get to the charge moves required. But I guess there might be a case where we see a catch onto a Bastiodon. I feel like that's the winning play here. Bring in Venus. Oh, no, going to bring in the Bastiodon. Going to go for the flamethrower to take it out.
It's at the move. And I don't think even Psychic KOs here.
Yeah,
which is dumb. I don't think it does.
Oh,
I tell you, this is dumb. That's just dumb. That shouldn't happen. Like, single resisted stab on the red Pokemon on the red. Like,
sorry, judges, can we have a look at that health bar? It looked like there wasn't anything there. I don't think that the Bastiodon should have been standing. That's incredible, but it does put us at 1-1 going into this final battle, and we're getting the Bastiodon hanging out up against a Flyer that instantly swaps out into the Stunfisk, and here is Sableye. So this is actually not, we're not in a super RPS sort of territory here. We're in this sort of neutral zone with the Sableye versus Stunfisk. So this kind of could go either way depending on the moves, right?
Yeah, and depending if you can sneak one fast move in and who sneaks it in. I think we saw Sableye start one turn later after the charge move. I'm not completely sure. But again, this is what we have to deal with. We see the foul play coming in from an Amazing Sunset into Caleb's Daylight, and I'm seeing some Bastiodon in the back. So I did not want to see it, but we might see the Bastiodon mirror to end it all.
The Shield v Shield, shielding themselves from the win in the round, but we'll just have to wait and see. Maybe they play around it, maybe they swap to make sure that it doesn't happen, but we're going to see the Shield come up on another Rock Slide coming in from that Stunfisk. As you said before, 2 Rock Slides, he's going to be doing more damage than an Earthquake, but how do you see this matchup playing out for the rest of it? Because this Sableye has been very protected up to now, and it's going to get hit by an Earthquake, which is pretty heavy.
These will do a lot of damage, but it's 1 KO. Barely 1 KO. And that's not shot. But getting switch here is huge. Because you can get the Bastiodon against the Bastiodon. Which means we can probably talk about charity for 5 more minutes while it ends. and this Pelipper will just chunk one of the Bastiodons. And double Weather Ball should do probably around 1/3. It will take him to half HP. So that's pretty good. But it's still, I think we'll get the mirror either way.
Yep, it's coming. It's on the way. This Pelipper, he's getting this Bastiodon really low, but unless they're gonna like mistakenly not throw the charge move and let another Weather Ball come through, then it was definitely coming. But they could have actually got a little bit more farm by the seams of it. But gonna decide to take out the Pelipper now, bring in that Bastiodon ready for the mirror match, and the switch time is not up, so this Bastiodon is going to be able to get some farm. Well, sorry, left Bastiodon is going to be able to get some farm on this right Bastiodon for a little bit of time here. But all right, so do you want to tell us about Take This, Joel? Because we've got time.
No, and they do just look at that damage. They do 1 damage with the Smackdown and with 10 damage with the Flamethrowers. And he's waiting for the sack. That's pretty smart. He went over 100 energy just waiting for the sack, but this means another Flamethrower comes through. However, that Pelipper is...
It doesn't have the energy ready to go, so we're gonna have the 100 energy, which is almost enough for 2 charge moves. Here we go. Oh, it's almost there. It's almost there. No.
Well, everyone in chat, you can type exclamation mark Doing good! Exclamation mark! Take this to learn more about the charity, about how many amazing merch products we have, going from mugs, t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, jackets. I think some bags too. Oh my God! What a sack!
Oh my gosh.
What a sack!
Straight away. That is so rough. Oh man.
Wow.
Still gonna get a Stone Edge through, and then I feel like they're gonna have to try and get a catch onto the Sableye.
Yeah, this probably won't kill.
No. Yeah, hanging on. The weather ball is about to come through.
Counting. It's counting. Oh, it did not manage to get the sack.
Does Sableye have enough? Can it hang on?
Can probably throw one Shadow Claw. No. I'm not sure how to feel, to be honest. Because either way, one bastard wins. But this was an amazing game to watch. I really love that. Some amazing sacks. That catch on the G-Fisk was key. Without that catch, this game would have gone the complete other way. Amazing games from both. Horrible Bastion usage from both. But great strategy, like not throwing a charge move, even though you know you're getting over 100 energy, it means you're expecting the catch. And it also gets into your opponent's head, like he knows I'm trying to get the catch. So it's a pretty interesting mind game coming from both of us. Great battlers, amazing games.
Yeah, and just really nice read on going, they're going to swap in the Stunfisk straight away as opposed to bringing the Pelipper and then, or maybe they were actually like ham-fisting, hitting the Stone Edge, expecting the opponent to bring in the Pelipper to then sack swap into Stunfisk, but it all just worked out in that Stunfisk favor, able to take the hit for the team, take the damage onto one steal instead of the other, and take out the round with a 2-1. But that does mean we're going to be going into the 6th set. DeFi coming back in, going up against Hydro. We've got GoCast up against PokémonGo Radio in this next set. And we are seeing some wacky Pokemon on HydrogenBond's team. This is like an awesome team. Like I'm pretty excited. No matter what they bring in, I'm going to be pretty happy here. We've got Grimer, we've got Shadow Zapdos, we've got Slurpuff, we've got Clearance Stunfisk, Cresselia, and Vigoroth. You know, we've seen DeFi come in with the Lantern, the Skarmory, Altaria, Deoxys, Frostas, and Diggersby. And I think there's some pretty interesting play from both sides. I kind of really like DeFi's Diggersby looks pretty good up against most of HydrogenBond's team. I can definitely do some damage here or there, but there's also some counters along the way as well. So what are you kind of feeling about these teams, Joel?
I feel Diddy looks pretty good. I think that Grimer learns Crunch. But aside from that, DD looks good. Diggersby, as you mentioned, looks amazing against this. It kind of has to watch out for the big Earth counters, but it can do some damage back with the Earthquake. And I think Frostlass, with enough energy or shields, can run all over this team. And I hopefully get to cast Primer. For anyone that does not know, even since I started casting in the Indigo League and Friday Night PvP, I've never gotten to cast one extra Grimer in about 4 times. So I'm pretty excited for this battle. Hopefully get to watch it. We have like about 40 seconds to the battles. Steve, do you see anything else? Maybe Altaria, if it can avoid the G-Fisk?
Yeah, Altaria could be another really strong pick. I kind of like the fact that, like, I kind of like the more Frostlass picks as opposed to Altaria's, because Frostlass is one of those picks that you get it, that energy advantage, that shield advantage, and it just absolutely wrecks. Whereas Altaria can be a little bit more of a shield hog potentially sometimes. It's a bit more of a neutral matchup as Dragon Breath is kind of go. And we are seeing that Dragon Breath come in up against the Slurpuff that is presumably running Charm. It is going to absolutely slap it away. Oh my gosh, and that Deoxys is going to come in, but it's still going to take a lot of damage along the way.
Yeah, of course, and presumably because, of course, like running Sand Headbutt would be extremely better than the Charm. And we see the Rock Slide coming through, and look at how much damage that Slurpuff has done to the DD, which is very tanky.
And this was the swap in. This wasn't like it got stuck in this lead. This was like, okay, my Altaria is not good here. I'm going to bring in the Deoxys to try and take this thing out. And it is just absolutely wrecking. The Energy Ball goes through, and we see the defense debuff. Are you serious? Oh, no.
What can be worse than a Charmer that can lower your defense? Like that's what nightmares are made of.
Oh, my God. It's essentially a powered-up Charm. whoever was calling out for Charm to get a buff in the next GBL season, here it is. But we're seeing that Lantern come in, and it's got the energy ball. This Slurpuff can do so much damage against this team. I feel like they're going to burn the shield and go for the energy ball just for the meme factor. Surely, come on.
I mean, that's probable. That was a play because you got the G-Fisk in the back, and you get it. And there's Altaria, so that's pretty much a GG. And this is pretty harsh. Like, we went straight from seeing a Basilion Mirror to a Charmer lowering defenses and throwing almost 3 charge moves.
This Slurpuff almost swept that entire team. That is absolutely ridiculous. And at this point, because there are no more shields on Team Slurpuff, it does have to bring in that Vigoroth to soak up that Hydro Pump. Because you really wouldn't want to soak that onto the G-Fisk. Vigoroth can take it. We'll be able to get a bunch of counter damage. And we're seeing Altaria swap in, and now G-Fisk. Oh, man. If Slurpuff wasn't enough of a hard counter, this G-Fisk is just going to be doing the exact same job. This is like the most anti-Altaria thing I've ever seen. This entire team. HydrogenBond running just... I think some of the greatest Pokemon I've ever seen in Slurpuff. Just I feel like I've been convinced that I have to build a Slurpuff immediately for any battles that I bring it into, because that was just gross. That was disgusting. Oh my gosh. And we see it in the Sky Attack, but it's not going to win this battle, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I feel bad for DeFi. Like, what's this tournament for her? You go from Bastion to Charmer. Like, how are you supposed to have fun?
Oh man, really rough.
I was about to tell you, the one reason I would run Altaria is if you get the Shadow Zapdos, because I'm quite sure you can Dragon Breath that one down and get like 100 energy. Like that, for that reason, that was worth it. But I don't think Altaria is coming back.
Yeah, I think it's pretty sold on the fact that it's not welcome in this round. We are seeing the Lantern come in, but Rock Slide, is Rock Slide going to be enough to take it out here? Like, it's going down either way, but you know.
I think probably yes, but Lantern is pretty bulky, has a lot of HP, and yeah, it's just barely enough to take it out. So yeah, right. So first game to Hydro.
2 things we know: Altaria probably not coming around, and Slurpuff is definitely coming around, because that was good against 3 out of 3 of those Pokemon, and that is wrong. And now we're actually seeing the Shadow Zapdos coming in up against Diggersby. This is actually a really interesting matchup, because Zapdos can do absolutely nothing. Like, it is so walled, so pretty much has to run away at some point. We're actually going to see it go for the Drill Peck first.
That was what I was about to tell you. Drill Peck will hurt. Never underestimate Zapdos. That's a lot, because Diggersby's a tank. But this Fire Punch probably takes it into the deep yellow, close to the red. Like, oh, wow! It took it pretty well.
We're both sitting here surprised now. We know nothing about this game. What are we doing here?
Is there a world where Zapdos takes this matchup?
It feels like it's possible, but I think Diggersby's not going to let that happen. They're going to burn the shield on the Drill Peck. We're going to see a Fire Punch go through. Zapdos is going to burn the shield. It's possible. Surely not. I mean,
there's a chance you outspeed. I'm not completely sure. Oh, the double swap into the hard counter. That's so harsh for the Cresselia. You just gotta Moonblast and hope you get a debuff, because the Grass Knot is double resisted, and Skarmory gets to leave this with energy. So that will be pretty rough. But that Zapdos has energy in the back and wins CMP against every single thing in the world. So that is important to note, because that Drill Peck hurts everyone.
Yeah, and really interesting, they haven't actually brought the Slurpuff in. Even though it was so powerful in that last game, I think they've identified, okay, I feel like DeFi may try and really hard counter this Pokemon now. They've brought in the Skarmory, they've brought in the Diggersby, both Pokemon that are able to do some big damage there. And Frostas as well, all 3 of those Pokemon able to fight back against Slurpuff. So I think they've gone for the identifying that's going to happen.
There was a small chance, just a little chance, almost negligible, that she was going to bring the Steel type against the Charmer. And as I tell you, this Skarmory just runs away with this matchup. It does not need to shield this Moonblast. Can probably farm and see what's going up. I think it's almost in KO range from the Drill Peck.
Yeah, very well could be. But we'll just have to wait and see. Stunfisk also could just be a complete
you just come G-Fisk. And I think you farm down, like, straight up. You can take two Bravebirds, be in the yellow, and still farm down and get like 2 Earthquakes ready, I would say about 55 energy you can farm down from here.
Yeah, and there's only that Zapdos in the back as well. So once you've got like, a Rock Slide, almost, or up to 2 Rock Slides now, again, he's going to be able to survive. He's going to take this thing down. He's going to be able to throw both Rock Slides onto the Zapdos in the back, and it only has 1 shield. And even if this Zapdos gets its charge move off, which I think it does have its charge move, we're still going to be able to burn the shield on the first one, and then. I think I'm looking at both sides. Yeah. Earthquake going to take that.
That hurts. Oh, and that's the old one too, and he gets the swap. She gets swap into the Frostlass. And I think you shield the farm down. Frostlass is probably able to farm down this Zapdos so hard.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get Thunderbolt. Oh, that was so close. This will not KO. It probably leave Frostlass into the yellow, but it will hurt a lot. Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch. And that's like a 45 energy move. Like, you do not want to see what the Thunderbolt does.
Yeah, they have to burn the shield. Like, they're just forced to burn the shield here. There's no shield on Frostlass' side, so it just needs to get hit by a single charge move. But they still have that Diggersby hanging out in the back. So deciding that they want to keep the health on the Stunfisk as opposed to getting energy, because the Power Snows were starting to add up. But I feel like this Diggersby could get to a 5 punch. Oh, it's got the 5 punch already. Yeah. That's Stunfisk going down and actually getting some revenge. I think because they didn't bring the Slurpuff. I believe that is I'm diagnosing that as the reason. Do you concur, Dr. Jolt?
I think Starcross comes back from 4-3, and this Diggersby is actually doing pretty good. It's very bulky. It actually played very good with its energy, able to get multiple fire punches off. So we'll see. I don't think Zapdos is coming back, unfortunately, and I hope to see the Grimer. Oh, well, I tell you, I just know nothing about this game. Zapdos against Deoxys, and I hope to see a Thunderbolt in.
Going for the Drill Peck. This is still going to do a big chunk of damage. Shadow Zapdos is such a really... It has such a high attack stat, plus it's got the Shadow bonus. It's such a squishy Pokemon in return, though, and we are going to see Deoxys be able to threaten it with pretty much any charge move through. We're actually going to see... Ooh,
wow, this was shielded.
Uh-oh.
This could be on the red.
Yeah. Whoa, look at that. That is so devastating. And at this point, you could potentially let Zapdos go, because you've done a ton of damage there, but deciding to shield the first one. Not going to get to another Drill Peck before another Rock Slide comes through, so Deoxys is going to be able to decide how this game goes. Oh, no!
Wow.
Oh, no! They must have miscounted that.
So unlucky, yeah.
Oh, has to burn the shield. Shield after Drill Peck, and tapping the charge move as well.
Is this double flying in the back against Fisk?
Oh. Hang on.
Oh, I'm gonna cry.
Oh no.
I'm gonna cry.
D5.
Like, I feel so bad for her because she's one of my friends and I really care a lot about her. And seeing this just pains me in the heart. Like, no, I wouldn't want to play this out. I really wouldn't.
Look, I understand if you top left D5. I understand. It's okay.
Yeah, we get you. It's completely fine. Mental health is important, and we're here to support it. So if you feel, you could go grab one mug, have a cup of coffee, have a cup of tea, and play this out with us. Remember, if you need to top left, be sure that it's okay to top left. Bastidon, Charmers, debuff Charmers. They happen, and it's okay. We're here for you. Mental health is important, so be sure to put !! Take this on the chat to learn more about this and how to help the cause. Thank you very much for your attention.
Yeah, because again, 100% of the proceeds on the merch that you can see right, I need to point the right way. I think it's that way. The 100% of the profits are going to the Take This organization, supporting mental health in the gaming community, and that is very, very important. So seriously, please support the cause. Again, this is not going to be the last time. You don't have to support it by the end of the stream if you're just like, you're out, you're on a run, you can't do anything at the moment. This is going to be on Twitter. You're going to see it around, and please do support it. If not now,
I think there's a win condition. I think there's a win condition, Steve. I think you just KO the Zapdos, Bravebird, Vigoroth, and you win.
Wait.
I think there's a win condition.
Wait a minute. How'd this happen? How'd this happen? Okay.
This is the power of charity, my friends. This is the only and pure, complete power of charity. It's a braver enough to kill.
I don't know, because it doesn't have that fighting typing. It's a normal type as opposed to it doesn't have any.
You
fight at
cannot
all.
take another body slam. 1, 2, no way!
CMP,
no,
and we
no,
get the
no,
CMP.
heartbreak. This is so sad.
Oh,
I'm gonna leave this stream crying.
the
This is
hope
so
level
sad.
went.
But there was a win condition, and that was close. And props to DinhoElMagico to getting so close to it, because that was such a hard game.
Yeah, look, she really is an incredible battler, and I think in this stream especially, she has just got so unlucky with the lineups that has been happening. So much just getting stuck. I mean, the double flyer up against the sunfish, that was just really sad. Even able to take it out in the end, but not quite enough. And unfortunately, I'm sorry, Joel, but we never did see that Grimer. So it'll just have to be another time.
Another time. Try again next season.
Yeah, exactly right.
Try again next season.
We'll get there one day, but this is actually going to bring us to, I think it's sort of the semi-finals between Ali and Dino from representing the GoCast and Beginner 2 winner respectively. We've seen the team on the left before, but now we're seeing AliLuckey's team with the that Jellicent, Mandibuzz, Metachamp, Venusaur, Galarian, Sunfisk, and Alola Ninetales. We've got a lot of meta picks flying around. We've seen Mandibuzz do some pretty solid stuff, able to soak up a lot of damage earlier in this stream. How are you kind of seeing either of these battlers sort of approaching the others?
Yeah, Ali went pretty serious with her team. That's a pretty meta team. I think that's the team she used in the last major tournament, the Major Gives Back, which also is a charity tournament. And she's a pretty amazing battler. The last time we played, we went to 3 games, but she games 1 and 2 were close. You don't want to know about game 3 because that never happened. There's no video of it. So yeah, Ali's a pretty fun battler. She's a pretty fun person to be around too. So I'm pretty excited to see the games. And we saw DinhoElMagico play amazingly last time with the Meganium. But this time, I think the Meganium has so many tough matchups in the Venusaur, in the Mandibuzz, and in the A9 if it's running Powder Snow. So I'm not sure how much play that Meganium will be able to have.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit rough. I mean, we saw how good Meganium was before. I don't think we can count Meganium out too early because it can seriously do anything. It can win against any Pokemon, anytime, any number of charge moves and shields. It will get there in the end. We're going to see the Jellicent coming up against Toxicroak, which is not where Toxicroak wants to be at all. It is going to be soaking up these counters completely, and Mud Bomb and Sludge Bomb, neither of them are great moves.
Yeah, it's pretty harsh because, well, Toxicroak does a lot of damage even with on-step Mud Bomb, but Jellicent just gets to farm, leave this with energy, throw one Shadow Ball, which I'm not sure it will be enough to KO, but it leaves it on Hex from down range. So a Shield has to come in, and you give up a swap into the Hypno, which will take another Shadow Ball to the face. And if it's shielded, I'm sure it gets to another Shadow Ball.
Yeah, that's a really rough swap. I mean, this Hypno will be able to... Oh, no, it doesn't have Shadow Ball. Oh, my God. It's a Thunder Punch Focus Blast Hypno? Are you serious? Well, no wonder we didn't see it in the Hypno mirror match up against Fish earlier. I mean, oh, man. And Ali is shielding up here. That Thunder Punch would definitely do a big chunk of damage, but... Man, that is crazy. And here comes that Shadow Ball that will take out this Hypno. There's no shields in play. This Jellicent doing a lot of work here. This is going to be rough.
Yeah, Jelly's pretty strong. And ouch. And shields down with such a squishy Pokemon in Toxicroak and Swampert in the back leaves you with very few options. And Mandibuzz comes in. This is a Snarl Mandibuzz. Toxicroak has a little bit more room to get some energy. And Sludge Bomb does a little bit less than half. Well, a bit less than half. We see an Aerial Ace, and even though it's a pretty horrible move, I think Toxicroak is gonna be feeling this one.
Yeah, this Toxicroak, it could almost get snarled down there, but we're seeing this swap out into Swampert. Because we did interesting to see that swap into Mandibuzz, keeping that Pokemon ready to sack swap later on. Jellicent, we may see its face when the opponent may not want to. Ali, definitely a very strong battler, but seeing the foul play go through onto the Swampert there, Not going to do tons of damage, but should be able to survive a Hydro Cannon and should be able to get another charge move off, I believe. Although Swampert is only one mud shot away from a second one, I think. So it could go down to the wire a little bit here.
I'm not sure because that Medicham has the whole life and still one shield left. I think you can let this go and give the shield to Medicham.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's
Decided
pretty
to shield up.
interesting. Maybe wanting to hide the third Pokemon.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. This still isn't going to take out the Swampert though. Gonna end Snarl not doing very much damage at all. So at this point, we're going to see another Hydro Cannon come through. Oh, again.
Oh, and what
CMP type, but Swampert's attack stat is so much higher than Mandibuzz's. Mandibuzz doesn't even know what the word attack means. But this Mandibuzz is definitely going to go down. And at this point, Medicham going to get a little bit of farm. And the Jellicent Sack Swap is there, but Toxicroak sure wasn't going to see it. Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
Medicham goes, slaps twice, pa, and it's pretty much over. Game 1 for Ali. Pretty strong battler. She knows the definition of fun in her teams, and Jellicent did a lot of work, and she starts with a pretty bad lead with the Medicham into the Skarmory, quick stop into the Mandibuzz, which is pretty smart, because whenever you lose the lead, you do not want to switch into your hardest counter to the Pokemon, because you will get it locked up against the counter's counter. So Ali did the smart thing, swap into a neutral matchup, kind of neutral matchup, and then she will have the G-Fisk in the back for the Skarmory in case he decides to swap out.
Yeah, exactly right. Which at this point, it seems like they're just letting Skarmory take a lot of these hits. Maybe just assuming that Ali does have that G-Fisk in the back, that it may not be as useful later on. But gonna throw the charge move here at the main buzz, and we're seeing no shield come up. Did you see if that was a Sky Attack or a Brave Bird?
It's a Sky Attack, and it's pretty easy for the Mandibuzz just to shake it off. And oh, now it's a Brave Bird. Skarmory with CMP, and I'm not sure if this KOs.
It very well might, and no shield from Ali means that it's going to come through, and it is going to. Oh my gosh, it's going to hang on.
IVs matter, dude. IVs matter. With 1 HP, Ali manages to get the foul play off, get the second shield, and we are. Oh, the first shield.
That could be game-changing right there. And G-Fisk coming in. G-Fisk is going to be able to farm this Skarmory all the way down.
Completely.
Not expecting a swap out from the other side. They've got that hard counter Swampert that they are going to bring in as soon as this Skarmory goes down. But that's really, really rough getting that shield advantage this early on. So Skarmory is about to go down. There we go. Just needed that one more mud shot. You could actually see it go for the funsies, go for that Focus Blast Hypno coming in, but no, maybe later on. But we're going to see the Swampert come in. And an Earthquake is coming its way. Ali putting on tons of pressure, being in that shield advantageous spot and forcing the final shield out to protect that Swampert. And we're actually seeing the Swampert in the Medicham, so we're going to see the Hypno come out, but there's no Shadow Ball. So, I think at this point, you probably don't burn the shields in this matchup and you keep it for the back, potentially?
Yeah, I think the reason Ali came in with Medicham was just to chunk the Hypno and maybe scout for the moveset. And this is pretty smart from the Hypno player because he charged up to 5 for the Shadow Ball. But still, not throwing Shadow Ball right now pretty much shows your moveset. So regardless of what you use now, Ali will know it's not a Shadow Ball. This Hypno is not a Shadow Ball user.
Yeah, it does have a lot of energy, and yeah, Ali just going to let all of those hits come through. Looks like she is going to be keeping all of her shields for the Stunfisk in the back. At this point, she could potentially choose to shield this one, because Medicham would definitely be able to take Hypno out. Yeah, okay, he's going to decide to go that route. Definitely going to take out Hypno with this Ice Punch here, and then he's going to still have that G-Fisk ready to go in the back. With a 1 shield still ready to go. And yeah, here's Swampert.
Yeah, but I think Swampert outspeeds. It gets to the Hydro Cannon before Stunfisk can get to the Earthquake. I think this could have been a mistake. Oh, I'm actually wrong. Again. Congratulations to me. But I'm sure this is not KO. This for sure does not KO. So I'm sure maybe the correct play was to let the double shields go to the Stunfisk. And that's an amazing counting, just throwing at 5 mud shots because you know you win the CMP against the G-Fisk and G-Fisk needs 5 to get to the rock slide.
And it's not quite at the charge move. Oh, it's gonna get it down. Oh,
So close.
oh
So close.
man.
Ali takes it. Easy peasy. No issues at all.
Ugh, look,
And
they got
this was the second game.
so
Yeah,
close.
that was down
So
to the wire. IVs mattered so much. And that Mandibus living with 1 HP was also crucial to get some good damage onto her.
Yeah, I mean, getting that shield out of there was just such a devastating blow to have to take that shield disadvantage when they just so close, almost didn't have to. Really unfortunate there, but because that was does that put us at 2-0? Is that where we're at? So
Yes, that's a 2-0.
that means that Ali is, no matter what, going through to the grand finals of this tournament to take out the entire thing. And look, Ali is a really incredible battler, and I think she's very much in contention for taking that #1 slot. What were you kind of feeling based on these battles, Joel?
I think Ali has done a pretty strong showing. Pretty strong showing, and so strong that he does not need a game 3. So yeah, it's pretty harsh, and her team is just pretty strong too. She did not came to play with triple hypno, she came to play to win. And that Mandibus did a lot of work, and the Jellicent in game 1 was so insane. Getting the lead and throwing about 4 Shadow Balls, which did a lot of damage and basically swept the whole team.
Yeah, exactly right. But that is going to bring us into the finals, the grand finals of the tournament, which is going to be AliLuckey up against Camo. AliLuckey, we saw her team, we saw how well it went, and we're bringing Camo back in. We're going to see the GoCast for AliLuckey representing GoCast going up against Camo representing PokémonGo Radio. For the championship, we've got Venusaur, Pelipper, Metachamp, Tropius, Bastiodon, and that Galarian Stunfisk for the double steal coming back out. But this time, there's no Skarmory to threaten the Tropius. And, I think, we're going to jump into the battle screen here. What are you kind of thinking that Ali might do to take on Camo this time?
I mean, I'm not like biased or anything, but there's no Bastiodon on one team, and there's Bastiodon on the other one. And one is a player formator, and one is not. But I am pretty interested in seeing this G-Fisk in action. I think G-Fisk is Ali's best answer to the Bastiodon, because even Jellicent, if it's not running the Bubble Beam, actually takes heavy damage from the Bastiodon and takes a lot of time. And we see a very bad lead for Ali with the A9 into the G-Fisk. And we see a quick swap into the Venusaur, and this will be replied with the G-Fisk on the other side. But this matchup is Venusaur favored, I believe, with the energy advantage.
Yeah, kind of interesting here. Staying in with the G-Fisk definitely is going to be able to put a bunch of pressure onto that Venusaur. Actually, letting the first Frenzy Plant come through. I guess they're kind of going like, okay, I've got a Venusaur in the back, and Venusaur is going to still do an okay amount of damage up against that, up against the Ninetales when it comes in. But landing Earthquake is so, actually, that's incredible. That's really incredible. Landing the Earthquake means that Pelipper's able to come in and farm all the way down. That is absolutely huge. That is really unfortunate for AliLuckey, who at this point pretty much has to bring in that Ninetales. They're not going to bring in a Metachamp into this matchup up against Pelipper.
Yeah, and the thing is that even in the back, Medicham needs energy to beat the Venusaur, because Venusaur hits way harder with his moves. And here comes the first Weather Ball, no need to shield. I believe this is pre-nerf, so Weather Ball does complete damage, but still not enough to force a shield. And yeah. A9 will do with the Weather Ball against the poor Pelipper, which can take pretty good. And that farm down with the Venusaur was key, because it's very ahead of this A9 in energy, times it correctly, counts the moves. So it gets the CMP against the A9, which forces the A9 to throw energy and gets its own.
Yeah, and that really was really nice counting. Able to time it perfectly, knowing that they were going to win CMP in that matchup, or just hoping they were going to win CMP in that matchup. But shielding up this Weather Ball, they are going to be able to get to another Weather Ball before Ninetales can, barely hanging on, and this will take out the Ninetales. But we're actually going to see Ali shield up, deciding that Ninetales is an important one to keep around, knowing that they're going to be able to farm down after this, and then throw some energy at this Stunfisk coming in. Oh no, we're going to see the swap out into the Metachamp to take out the rest of this Stunfisk, and it's switch locked. It's switch locked, so it has to just take it.
Yeah, you will have to take an Earthquake in return, but this could be worth it, because if you can actually farm up to 2 Ice Punches, you can come back and just Weather Ball that Venusaur in the back. So 2 Ice Punches, 1 to take the shield, 1 to do damage, and the Weather Ball to kill. That's a win condition for Ali right now. And on the other side, Camo has to take a sack, I think. It has to to find the sack swap.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right on all of that front. We're going to see this first ice trump come through and actually land, maybe just making sure that a Psychic didn't land over, but we are going to see this Ice Punch coming through again. We're going to see the shield come up, and at this point, Metagem has definitely done its job. It's just how much energy Venusaur is kind of going to get from this matchup, when it's going to throw, when it's going to take this
Look at the
Metagem
timers,
out.
look at the timers.
Oh, the sack is about to be ready to go. For whenever the next charge move comes through, and we're going to see the Frenzy Plant go through. Metagem's going to go down, and it's up to Ninetales. Can Ninetales get the charge move, or are we going to see these swap into Pelipper, and we're going to see the charge move coming through. This is definitely going to take out the Venusaur. Pelipper's going to come back in, and it's going to get farmed down. AliLuckey is going to take out this first game of the Grand Finals. Really nicely done there.
Yeah. And I just want to clarify, what may look as a misplay is not really a misplay, because when you're facing such a top quality battler, you know they are expecting that you will not switch instantly. And we see another awful lead with the G-Fist against the Metagem. And we see a swap into the Jellicent and into the Pelipper. And this is Jellicent's favorite if you can shield the Hurricane.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw AliLuckey play out of a really bad lead in the last game. She can definitely do it again if she gets things how she wants to get them. Lands the Shadow Ball, which is a really, really nice start for this Jellicent. And again, as you said, it really needs to shield up this Hurricane. So the question becomes, do we see the Ali shield? And we do. Really just playing this as perfectly as she can. Really, really incredibly done there. And at this point, I think Jellicent can comfortably throw Bubble Beam and take this thing out, right?
Yeah, probably just loading up on a little bit of energy to probably debuff the next Pokemon, but yeah, you're completely right. Throwing the Bubble Beam, and it gets a shield. And even if you get to the Hurricane, wow, Ali does a smart thing, counting the moves and do not allowing the Pelipper to get to the next Hurricane.
Yeah,
This
definitely
is
pretty rough.
pretty good.
They don't really have a great answer to this Jellicent. The best they've got is the Bastion, and it's still going to be taking a fair amount of damage from these Bubble Beams. It looks like Ali's actually going straight for the Shadow Ball, really trying to put the hurt on early. This is looking pretty good for Ali, even from a terrible, terrible lead. She seems to have run away without a hard count of the Jellicent.
Yeah, and the Shadow Ball does okay damage to the Bastion. I personally would have gone just straight Bubble Beam, so pain can be made. The definition of pain can be made back to the person using Bastion. Nice
revenge
job.
Aside.
Revenge
aside. We
Yeah.
are going to see this Bastion farm all the way down. We're going to see Stunfisk come in, and we're seeing these double quick swap into the Metagem versus Ninetales matchup. And again, it's that that Powder Snow along the Ninetales as opposed to the Charm. Not going to do tons of damage with this Ice Weather Ball. So Metagem doesn't really have to shield here. The question really becomes, can Ninetales get a Dazzling Gleam off, which I don't think it's even going for at this point.
Yeah, and this is pretty interesting. But A9 pretty much just has to chunk Metagem to the point that a Rock Slide disable is enough to take her. And he takes the complete Psychic to the face, barely gets to another Weather Ball. But I don't think... Well, that's a pretty smart shield, because now you gotta fight the G-Fisk. But I think the only win condition is to maybe catch the Earthquake with the Bastion and try to counter down. But I'm not sure there's enough damage in them to really take out this G-Fisk.
Yeah, I think you might be right. And the switch time is the switch time just went up, and they tried to get. Oh my gosh, we've got the Ice Punch going through. It's not taking this Stunfisk out. See Stunfisk. I think I'm assuming they tapped on their charge move. It is going to go through. We saw the attempted swap to Bastion, but charge move already went through. This is definitely going to take Metagem out. We're going to see the Pelipper come back. The Bastion come back. Ooh.
Oh, there's the shield. There's the shield. Yeah.
Still only a few quick moves away from the next flamethrower, but that Galarian Stunfisk is sitting on a little bit of energy. I think we're actually going to see the flamethrower come
no
first.
way! Wow! Just as a reminder, Bastion gets to either charge move, flamethrower, or Stone Edge every 7 Smackdowns, and that's an amazing play. I thought the game was over after he did not get the sack swap, and we see the worst mirrors of all mirrors. The mirror, if you don't get the bait, you lose.
Ooh.
We see a quick swap into the Pelipper that, with energy disadvantage, probably loses this matchup in the one shield. I'm not sure how do you feel about this, Steve?
It's really interesting. I guess they really didn't want to play that G-Fisk matchup out. They decided that G-Fisk was going to be an important Pokemon for later on in the matchup, maybe up against an Alolan Ninetales or this Mandibuzz. And I guess Pelipper has done its job in bringing this Mandibuzz out, but at this point, Mandibuzz is just guaranteed to take this matchup out, essentially. There's no way that Pelipper can come out after throwing that first Weather Ball. Ali can pretty much, I think Ali can actually burn a shield, and then no matter how the moves go, has this Pokemon on lock. And then, we're going to be able to see the Stunfisk come back out onto the Mandibuzz, potentially get some sort of shield energy advantage, But definitely kind of interesting all around. So we're going to see another charge move come through from the Mandibuzz. Not expecting a shield from the Pelipper, but yeah. Down it goes, and here we go. Let's play out this G-Fisk, and we'll see what happens when when Ali's G-Fisk ends up coming back in after the Mandibuzz has had enough.
Yeah, but this is pretty interesting, because the G-Fisk with energy advantage actually is pretty strong, especially because Ali does not have a hard counter for that G-Fisk. And me being an expert in Stunfisk mirrors, I do understand what it's like to lose every single CMP. My Stunfisk is a pretty good one, so when you lead G-Fisk and you know you lose CMP, it's pretty hard to play, because you do not want to, you want to catch the move, but again, you could catch a Rock Slide. So it's pretty hard to play that way. I understand that swap out completely. And we see another swap out into the G-Fisk and getting locked into the Medicham. It will probably reach 2 Earthquakes. You have to shield one.
Yeah, this is kind of a rough little situation. We saw Ali, once she realized that the other charge move was coming through, tried to swap in the G-Fisk before Mandibuzz's charge move got through so that she could keep the energy. But this is a really rough spot for her, and we're not 100% sure how she turns it around, because these Ice Punch definitely going to be adding up. I don't think you have to burn the shield here, and you should be able to get to another Earthquake, and then put that pressure back onto the Medicham. It's either going to do a lot of damage. Oh no!
I think a shield's worth here.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is just one counter of energy, and you get the Earthquake off, and the damage is huge right now.
Yeah, or you get a shield. Both ways not a bad way to go. It decides to let it come through. Going to take out over half of that Medicham's health. And at this point, do you bring in Ninetales and then try and Weather Ball down?
Yeah, I think it's in Weather Ball range. Again, you gotta care for the sack swap. And that G-Fisk has enough HP probably to get to a Rock Slide. And instant swap.
Okay, are we going to see a catch here, or are we going to see... Okay, Ninetales staying, going to throw the Ice Weather Ball and getting that last shield out of the Stunfisk. The question is, do we see a catch now coming from Ali, or do we see her burn the shield, commit, try and get to another Weather Ball? Because we're actually seeing two... We've got the back-to-back Rock Slides on the Stunfisk. One Rock Slide isn't going to take the Alolan Ninetales out, so it has some options here. It's deciding to burn the shield here. They cannot let this next one go through, or they can go for the Sack Swap. Okay, staying in. We're going to let it come through. This is okay. She's definitely going to be able to eat this up. And then the Sack Swap still remains. We're going to get this Ice Weather Ball that I think will be able to take out this Stunfisk, getting plenty of farm, the energy ready to go. But...
yeah, that was pretty good counting by Ali. Counting 4 mod shots, not risking 2 extra mod shots. And we will never know what happened.
Wow, the game just running away from us. I'm not sure if that was the end of the recording. We've just lost it all. Looks like the end of the video has been chopped off, which means that it's a little bit anticlimactic, I suppose, but I guess we can spoil the result a little bit, in that AliLuckey does end up coming out on top, successfully able to get herself in a really, really nice position there. She could have maybe done a sack swap. We'll just have to imagine, use the best of our abilities to think about how the rest of the matchup go. And I'm going to guess that there was a beautiful, beautiful sack swap, and Ninetales cleaned it up at the end. But seriously, AliLuckey made some amazing plays through this one. We saw a few times and do really well. I mean, we saw her jealous and doing work, I believe, in the first round of that semi-finals. It was absolutely just incredible stuff. Like, really, really well done, and really well done to kind of all of the battles. And again, AliLuckey was here to represent the GoCast podcast. So again, we had the 4 podcasts come in. They brought in some strong battlers to help represent them, as well as the podcast hosts themselves. And so AliLuckey is bringing it home for the GoCast podcast. But obviously, we're not just here for the battle. So Joel, do you want to remind everyone why we're here, and the most important thing of the night?
Yeah, the most important thing of the night is charity. And remember that mental health, again, is pretty important. And jokes aside, be sure to take your time to learn about the subject, because a loved one or even yourself could be subject to some issues that you might not even be aware of. So keep your eye out on that one. Again, exclamation mark, take this to learn more about how you can help and what this organization is doing for mental health, especially in our environment that is gaming. So it's pretty important. The merch is also pretty amazing. The North Joy design is amazing. And today was a pretty good night.
Absolutely. We saw some really, really great battles, and I hope that everyone does go and check out the links that Toastflow is posting in the chat right now. Check out that merch. Again, 100% of the proceeds are going to the Take This charity, non-profit organization that is striving to support the mental health of gamers everywhere and trying to reduce that stigma that still surrounds mental health today. So please do support it. It's a fantastic cause. Again, if you can't support them today, you can support them a little bit later on. I know the Lord Up podcast and all of us are probably going to be posting more about this charity as we move forward. So please do go ahead and support it. Check out that merch because it is some seriously really, really good looking stuff. Like I cannot emphasize enough that it is actually just like some really nice high quality stuff. So again, thanks to all of the battlers for coming, and thanks to Lord Up. The Lord Up guys did end up sort of organizing this tournament on the back end. They ran all they did the TO job, and they helped bring this stream together. So seriously, huge thanks to them, because without them, this tournament just wouldn't take place, and we wouldn't be able to do this thing to support charity. So Joel, do you have anything to kind of add to that, close out a little bit?
For sure, and you do not have to take our word for it, but even Zyonik bought his own mug for the charity, so take his word for it. He knows his stuff. And again, thank you everyone for organizing. This was an amazing tournament. We saw some amazing battles, all the way from the world champion to Caleb Peng to AliLuckey, and many strong showings, including Fish's interesting int. Capital I, capital A, and capital T, interesting hypnostrategy, which was very fun to see, and it is very, very fun, like, to see the community come together for a great cause. Like, I'm also very grateful with SocialFlow, with the DinhoElMagico podcast community, with everyone on the stream for us that actually helped this be possible. And I'm pretty happy to be casting with Steve. Pretty happy with everyone that's been here. Thank you everyone for watching. I know there were some people that came especially to see me cast, so I'm also pretty happy with you. You know, I love you all. Thank you for the support, and thanks for supporting the charity.
Yeah, I want to give some huge shout outs to everyone that's been around, all of the gifted subs that have come through. PvPoke came in absolute clutch, throwing so much around in this chat. Seriously, just an incredibly generous guy. It's really great stuff. Again, thanks to Lord Up for making all of this happen. Thanks to Team Rocket Academy and SocialFlow on the back end, making all of this happen, because he's done a great job. Please do help him out by hitting that follow button down below as well, because it is absolutely free. And then go check out that merch. But that is going to bring us to the end of the stream tonight. We are going to be raiding into Battle Bill. So, show him some love. And again, follow Lord Up on Twitter as well, because they'll be posting some more updates as we kind of go, how much we've raised and all of that sort of thing. So again, thank you to everyone for coming out, and have a good night. And yeah, thank you. I am so sorry for the round 2, round 3. I literally have no idea what happened. My Wi-Fi and my data both weren't loading up the video, and I don't understand. Multiple devices. I couldn't load it up on Wi-Fi on the laptop. I couldn't load it up on data.